Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on foundations of financial analytics. So last time, what we did was we used this data file, this file, RMD file, and we looked at the uh, the aspect of what financial analytics is, okay, the topics that come with it, its importance, okay, and there are, I point to you some journal articles that double into the importance of financial analytics. And then we began with the discussion of R by way of review. Let's take a look at what we have discussed so far. We said, for example, that in an RMD file, all codes are written in a code chunk, and the shortcut to create this code chunk is Control-Alt-I if you're using Windows, or Command-Option-I if you're using Mac. So we also learned that we can create objects in R. The name of the object should just be one, quote unquote, one word. So if you're going to string several words together, you have to put the underscore there. So for example, this object, my first variable, uh, is assigned the value of 100. So we run this, and indeed we saw that it created this my first variable with a value of 100. Notice, class, I'm not going to run this anymore because we have discussed this in the past. So we can print this object by putting parentheses here at the start and at the end of this code, or you can just type my first variable or print my first variable. Okay. And we said that if you want to print to run everything, you can go anywhere in your code chunk and press Control Shift Enter. Okay, Control Shift Enter will run all the uh, lines of code in your code chunk. If you want to run just a particular line of code, then you go to that line and then press Control Enter. So there's a difference. No? Control Enter for a specific line of code. Control Shift Enter for everything. Control Shift Enter is the same as clicking this. Okay. Now above here, we have the run button here. There are several functions about run here. Uh, Running a selected line means that you have to be in that position, class. Okay, and as we noted a while ago, it's Control Enter or clicking this. Or if you want to run the whole code chunk, then it's Control Shift Enter. If you want to run the next code chunk, then Control Alt N. Okay, then here there are options to run all chunks above a particular code chunk or run all chunks below a particular code chunk. Okay, or you can restart R and run all chunks, or you can run all. Okay, so you have here several several choices. Okay, here in the run button here. Okay, so this one we did also. We printed that object. Okay, and by the way, we said that it's best to use this assignment operator. Okay, this one, the less than and then dash. Okay, and we said that for Mac it's option I think, no? Option minus, I'm saying, for Mac. Please please confirm it's if it's correct. Alt minus for Windows, and then option minus for Mac. Okay, so it's better to use the assignment operator. Okay, here, assignment operator. All right, then I'll just briefly go through this. We said also that there are operators, okay, plus, minus, multiply, divide, and exponentiate, and this is for matrices, okay. So these are objects that we create based on operations, plus, minus, times, okay. And we also have logical comparisons, okay, equal to, not equal to, greater less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, and also we have logical operators and, or, and not. So we took a look at this last time. So I, unless there are any questions about this class, about this particular code, may I have your confirmation, class? If so far all the codes that I have shown are clear to you, or are there any clarifications, any questions about those codes? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. About the others, class? Okay. I hope that uh, you'll respond, class, to my queries. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Okay, this one we look at also. We're creating an object consisting of several numbers here. Okay, we can create objects that contain several numbers, and this is specifically called a vector, numerical vector, or letters or characters, and we call them a vector also, but character vector. All right. So here we used some functions, sum, average, standard deviation. This one is we use this in the other class. Let me just share with you. You can append this in your file. That's the formula for standard deviation. Okay, just to prove. Okay, so if I run this, you have to run this class. No? In case if you check your environment, if my numbers is no longer existing, then you have to run my numbers first. Okay, so if I run everything, class, so it printed my numbers here because of the parentheses that I placed into it. And then I created this object total sum, which is just the sum. Okay, let me check. Total sum. There you go, 150. Adding up 10 up to 50 by tens. And then you get the average value. There is also this average value. Let's check. 30. It's just average of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then we can compute for the standard deviation. This is the function. Okay, this is uh, the formula itself. Okay, it's just like x minus average x squared, and then you get the sum, and then divided by n minus 1. Divide if it's assuming it's a sample. Okay, so we can check the standard deviation and standard deviation 1 if they're congruent, if they're the same. Standard deviation and standard deviation 1. Okay, may I ask you, class, if you run this, did you get the same answer, class, for your standard deviation, standard dev, and standard deviation 1? Just to use a particular function SD and a particular and the formula itself. So we spelled out the formula here. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So moving on, class. If you want a help from a particular function, okay, you can type question sum or help mean, for example. I'll not go back to that. Now, this one makes use of paste, the paste function, where you can combine character, and this is a variable. This is the value of, this is actually an object, sum of the prices. And then this one, character, quotes, including the colon, quotes, and then comma, and average value is also an object. So when we print that, we have this. Sum of prices, 250.75. Okay. All right. Then this explains, class, what are the functions, sum, mean, standard deviation, print, paste, etc. Okay. Now, again, also last time we looked at the different types of data types: numeric, character, logical, date and time. Okay. So for numeric, it can be integer or it can be numeric or double. The difference between them is that integer cannot take on decimal places, while double can take on decimal place. So if you want to specify explicitly, make a number integer, then they have to put that letter L. Okay, R will consider this as a number. Okay, the L there is specifically used to denote that quantity is an integer. So if I run this whole code chunk, you can see that it created integer value 10. And if we check the type of integer value, it's an integer. However, 10.5, the type of this decimal value 10.5 is double. Double indicates that this can take on decimal places. Okay. All right. Then we can also create character objects or text strings. So here we're creating this name AAPL, which is the ticker symbol for Apple, and then also company name. You can easily create a character data by putting it under quotations. So quotes here. And then if you can check the type of this stock ticker object and the type of company name, if we run everything here, okay, it will give us character. Okay. Logical values class is, okay, it's true or false, okay? All right, so take a look at this. We are creating this object called isActiveTrader. Okay, so what's inside this object is ActiveTrader. We said it's true. No? So if we run this, and then we check what's the type of isActiveTrader, we get this logical value. Okay, logical value. So if I print, let's print this one by putting it in parentheses. Okay, let's print isActiveTrader. Control Enter. Then we have the object true. Okay. What if I'm using class F? Okay, let me check. Let me remove here first the object F. Okay. Okay. I'll just write here RM, remove F. Okay, RM, remove. And let me see if I still have the object F here. So I don't have F here. No? We were using this in the other section a while ago. Okay. So here I added an object has loan and then F. What if I use F? Will it also be logical? Let's see. Let's print this also. Has loan F, just like isActiveTrader, true. Let's see what happens if we run this. Control Enter. Okay. Now take note that it's also false. No? And let's see. Okay. The type of isActiveTrader and the type of has loan. Control Enter. Okay. And both of them are logical. Okay. So we created this object isActiveTrader and its value is true. We also created this object has loan and its value is false. Now what about this one class? If I reverse it, okay, so I'm creating this object false class and the value of false is has loan. What do you think will happen, class? Control Enter. Okay. Now take note, it's an error class. Okay. Because you cannot use the name false for a particular character. Okay. Because false is already dedicated to the logical value false. Okay. So we cannot use false or true to name another object. Okay. But what if it was false? Okay, sorry. False and then alt minus false. What will be the result here? Control Enter. All right. Again, class. Again. Okay. Although you're using the same name, class, no? You're using the same name, okay, to represent false. As I said, class, you cannot use false on the left-hand side. You cannot use it as a name of an object, even if you are naming it to the same object. So default variant, it will not allow using the special characters like false to denote any other object, okay, including the same object itself. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Okay, so let's go here. Dates class. Dates are very important in finance. Okay, in order to convert, notice that this can be a character because it's just numbers, and then you put quotes here. Okay, let's suppose let me create here. No? Let me name it. Let me name it obj1, obj1, object1 alt minus, and then I put here 2026 dash 01 dash 20. Okay, and I put here class obj1. Okay. All right, let me put this in parentheses. All right. Here, I'm asking R to print obj1 and then give us the class of obj1. Let me run this code chunk here. Control Enter. Right, let's see. All right, so it typed 2026 0120, and it's a character class. Okay. However, if I append this function as that date, okay, so I'm creating this object today underscore date as that date, this one, and type of, okay, type of, let's run this, three lines of code, Control Enter. All right. Okay, let me rerun this and put a parenthesis here so that it will print. Okay, run everything again, Control Enter. All right, note class. Note that it prints 2026 01 0020. It has quotes, no? So you might be thinking, oh, this seems to be a character. But wait, we ask the type of, and it says it's double. So we say, remember we said a while ago, if it's double, it's actually numerical. Okay, why? Because actually dates are numerical. They're actually numerical values. Okay, so dates are represented by numbers, and that's why it's easy to get the number of days between dates or number of months because of that nature of treating dates as numbers. Okay, class of today date is date here. Type of is double. So type of is a lower classification form. Okay, and class is a higher classification form. So the lower classification form for this object, which is a date class, is double, meaning it's a number, it's numeric, and the higher classification is that date. It's a date class. All right. So here we used as that date. There's another type of date class which is as that POSIX CT. Okay, this is more powerful because it can accommodate not only the date itself, but the hours, minutes, and seconds, and also the time zone. So this is important for, let's say, intraday trading, where you track down prices every hour or every minute. Okay, so you will not be able to do that if the data is just a simple date, but you can do it if it's POSIX CP. Okay, because it can accommodate the hours, the minutes, and the seconds of the day. Okay, okay. So if I run this class, so the difference now is in class. Here the class is date. Here the class is POSIX city. Okay. All right. Now you can create objects inside the inside you can create an object, and inside it are several data, several data. So here you have one, hello, and true. No? So one is numeric, hello is character, true is logical. But when you combine them together, class, okay, what will happen? There will be what we call type coercion, because R cannot create an object which has different types of data in it unless you make it a list. Here you're not making it a list. We didn't put here as that list. If we place here as that list, then this will be acceptable. So since we're not putting as that list here, it will be treated as one object containing only one type of data. And it will coerce it into the higher level. What do you mean by a higher level? Okay. One class can be converted into a character. True can be converted into character by just putting quotes into it. Hello cannot be converted into a one. Hello cannot be converted into a logical. So because of the hierarchy, then one and hello will be converted into characters. Okay. And that's what we call type coercion, so that we can create that object. So let's run this, for example. We discussed this actually last time. Okay, I'll just create another. Okay, here, Control Enter. And you can see here that we printed this object mixed vector, and you notice that all are characters. Even if one appears here as numeric and true appears as logical. Okay, and the type is character. So if you want it to contain several different types of data, then you should make it as that list. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, notice how the difference between the lists class. No? Okay, so it's a list object. Okay, and then it contains this one, then hello, then true. Okay, all right. And it preserves the type of the nature. Although here it puts it into quotation, but it's not really a character. It is still a numeric value, numeric data. Okay. All right. Now, as I said here, R automatically converts types if needed. Okay, ito class, ito here. All right. Ito kasi class hindi as the list, di ba? Sinabi natin, no? When we just create an object, okay, without making it a list, it will convert all into character. Okay. So let's now go to data structures. Data structures, you can have the most basic ones are vectors. Okay, we discussed this class. Vectors are a type of data structure that contain only one type of data. So it's either a numeric vector, which means all are numbers, character vector, which means all are character values, and date vector, all are dates, logical vector, all are logical values, true or false. Then you have matrices also, you have data frames, then you have lists. Okay, so here we're looking at, again, these are examples of vectors, matrices, data frames, and lists. So we discussed this last time. stock prices. This is a numeric vector. This is also a character vector. Okay, so we can create this, and these objects will fall under here in our environment. It will fall under values. By the way, the list that we generated a while ago will fall under data. So unlike vectors, which will be reflected in the values, lists or data frames or matrices are reflected in your data. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So once we create vectors, you can subset, can get a particular value out of that. Okay, so for example, if I run this class, so I now have this stock prices here. Okay, stock prices, it's a numerical vector. It contains 4 elements, 100.5, etc. I can subset the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. Or subset get extract. This is extracting the first one. That's 100.5. This is extracting the second and the fourth one. Okay, that's why you have 2 values there. Okay, and then this is extracting. Notice to extract or to get the portion of your data, you do that by using brackets here, square brackets. So stock prices brackets, which is stock prices greater than 100. Okay, so all elements that are greater than 100, control enter. All right, 100.5, 101.2, 101.2. Okay, if it's less than 100, then of course it will return only 99.8. Okay, pause again, please. I know I'm going too fast, class, because this is just a review. And question, class? Are you able to follow? Is it clear, class? Okay, good. Good. Thank you. All right. Let's review matrices. Okay. Matrices, we said that matrices are 2-dimensional rows and columns. Okay, elements of the same type. So you can either have matrices that are characters or matrices that are numbers. Usually you use it for numbers. Okay, so here, how do you create a matrix, class? Use this function matrix. Okay, so we're creating this object, matrix data, and it contains the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 numbers. And then we can define number of rows and number of columns. Okay, 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is 6, so this is okay. If I use 2 by 4, then it will generate an error term, class. All right, so let's see how, and let's print matrix data. Control enter. Let's see how this looks like. Notice that it's different from a vector. A vector is only 1-dimensional. Okay, you don't have rows by columns. Okay, so here, what do you notice? How did R generate the matrix? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You notice the positioning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it first populated by column. Okay, by column. So the default is that it generates the value by column. So let's suppose I add here 7 and 8. Okay, I make it 4 by 2. Okay, 4 by 2, class. Let's see what happens. 4 by 2 is okay because there are 8 elements. 4 times 2 is 8. Control enter. Okay, you notice now that you can see the column position is first filled up. Because when you use matrix, the default is it will fill up first by column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unless, okay, you specify, okay, how do you specify that? Okay, take a look at this, class. Diba ito? by row is equal to true. So if I put here by row is equal to true or TRUE. Okay, let's see what happens. 4 by 2, a while ago it was this way, by column, the default. If I put here by row is equal to true, notice that the result now, okay, what happened? Wait. By row. So dapat, ano siya? Let me rerun it, class. Control Enter. Ayan, tama, class. Okay? Kasi 4 rows tama pala. 4 rows and 2 columns, okay? So you have, kasi 4 rows, no? So you have 4 rows. Pero, the way the data is run now, the matrix is run 1, 2, first row, 3, 4, second row, etc. No? So that's how you generate this matrix object. Okay, and then class matrix object. The class is, it's a matrix or it's an array. Okay? All right, so I just repeated that example here. And then you can extract. Okay, let's run this, okay? Matrix data by row there. Okay, so notice that it's being run by row 1 up to 6. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we can access also, we can subset, we can extract the values in a matrix. So how do you do that? Okay, matrix data 1, 2. So this means the first number here is row, the second number is column. Okay, the first row, the second column. First row, second column. So that's 2. So this one will generate there, 2. Okay, let's run everything here. Control Enter. Okay, wait. Wait. Ano ba yung natin? 2 by 3 kasi, no? Okay. 2 by 3. Wait. All elements in column 3. Bakit error siya? Lahat ng rows, okay? Lahat ng rows, pero column 3 lang. Lahat ng, sorry. Ano ba yun? Row 2, column 3. Tama naman. So there are 3 columns. Ano ba ginawa ko dito? 2 rows and 3 columns. Let me run this again, class. Control Enter. Yan. So this is it, no? 2 rows and 3 columns. So if I extract, class, ay, mali kasi, di ba? Dapat by row to. No? I'm looking at this one, class. Sorry. No? Okay, I'll just use matrix data by row. Control C. I was using another object. Control V. Kaya nag-error siya. Okay. All right, this will work now. Control Enter. Okay. So these are matrix. 2 rows by 3 columns. Okay. And then by row is equal to true. So it will fill up the rows first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we extract the first row and second column, it's 2. This one. If we extract all the rows, third column, all the rows, third column, so it will give us 3, 6. If we extract the first row here and all the columns, then it will give us 1, 2, 3. So that's how you extract values out of a matrix. Okay, let me pause once again. Again, this is a review. So unless you have any questions or queries about this. Okay, comments please or questions? Okay, none, thank you. All right. Pag may question class, please don't be ashamed. Okay, good, good. Thank you, class. Thank you. All right. So we're on our way, all good, on our way to finish this lesson, so that on Friday we start with the main lessons. Okay, so last time also we created data frames. Okay, data frames class are very important objects in R. Okay, so it's the most common tabular data. It's like a spreadsheet. So you have columns. Okay, and the columns are, they have specific names. Okay, columns can be of different types. So it's like a list in that sense. It can be character, it can be numeric, it can be logical, it can be dates. So that makes data frames quite powerful and flexible. So it's ideal for financial databases because it can take on numerical prices, can take on character, like the type of data. Okay, for example, you're doing a study on the effect of a certain the effect on a particular variable, a particular financial data during COVID. So you will have a variable there, COVID or not COVID. Okay, so you have that character variable, and that can be accommodated if you're using a data frame. Okay, for price, volume, date, even for character factors, no? And call it factors. These are characters that can be used as classifiers, right? So an easy way to create a data frame is use data.frame. In create a matrix, you use matrix, a list as that list or list. So here, we're creating this object, this variable called date, and then it contains these dates, 2026, 0101, etc. So 3 dates. And then this is the name of this column, open, and it contains character, I mean numeric, okay? We can include here, for example, uh, profit, okay? C, we can indicate if it profited, for example, only yes, okay, no, just an example, and then yes. So I introduced here a character variable. Let's call it profit, and the profit is not the measure of the profit, but rather if if the variable class, if this okay, of 150 to 150, okay, yes, that profit, ano, 150.5 to 151, no, yeah, okay, 153 to 152, open, comparing open and close, okay. All right, then let's print our financial data frame. Run this anywhere, Control Shift Enter. All right, and there we go, class. See? So this is our date. This is open, close, volume, and then profit. So this is a very powerful way to organize your data, and it's called a data frame. Okay. All right. So you can access a data frame through its object. For example, I think we mentioned last time. Let's insert it here. Control Alt I. Okay. If I want to get the, let's say, average of open, okay, so let me create an all, let me get average, mean, okay, mean of open. Okay, we learned last time that this will not run, okay? Mean of open, this will not run, control enter. Okay, error because there's no object called open in our environment. There's no object called open. By the way, class, before I forget, the matrix class fall under data. All data frames will fall under data. Okay, list will fall under data. Matrices will fall under data. Values will fall under vectors will fall under values. Okay, so that's one main distinction. Okay, so that's why the most atomic data structure type is are vectors because vectors contain only one type of data. Okay, and wala silang rows or columns. All right, so we cannot get the mean class, the mean here, because R does not recognize the mean. So we need to, okay, before we do this class, let me insert here, Control Alt I. So if you have a data frame, you can get the structure of your data frame. Financial, okay. Notice I didn't type all the whole name. Okay, the first few letters, then R will recognize if there's an object like that. So tab. I'm sorry. I I okay. Should be this one. Tab. There. Structure class. When you get the structure, it tells us what kind of object financial data frame is. So it tells us this is a data frame, okay, consisting of three objects, three observations. 1, 2, 3, 5 variables. Date, open, close, volume, profit. Okay? And then you notice here, dollar date. The dollar here, class, indicates that you cannot access date uh, by itself. You have to course it through the data frame. Okay? This means financial DF dollar date. That's how you can access date. And what type of data is date? It's a date object, because when we created our data frame, we said ask that date. So notice it created the date variable, the date column as a date. Same thing with open, close, and volume. They're all numerical. Okay, notice that we didn't even have to put here numerical because R recognizes immediately if it's a number. Okay, but for this one, since it has to be written in quotations, okay, we have to put as that date. Otherwise, R will treat that as a character. This one, it treated it as a character. Yes, no, yes. Okay, di ba, no? So profit is character. Yes, no, yes. All right. So if you want to access, let's say, get the average of open, you see here dollar sign. Okay. So you have to put here the object. Okay, let me put space. There. Okay, dollar. Okay. In fact, if I type dollar, then it will give us this one. You can access the elements in financial DF. So if I run this class, control enter, and there you go. You're able to access now the object open coming from financial DF. Okay, same thing with close and same thing with volume. Okay, let me pause for a while, class. I'm not sure if we discussed that last time, but it's good to repeat. Any questions? Is that clear so far, class? The structure function of that can be used in data frames. Any questions? If it's clear, class, kindly please confirm in the chat box. Good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, so you can access the elements of of the data frame here, for example, financial DF dollar close. No? If I click this class, then it will give us the elements found in dollar close. Okay. Okay, let's create this object called, okay, find F volume, which is financial DF. Okay. And then here you have volume. Okay. So what's this class? What's this? If you run this, okay, so what's financial volume class? Fin finan fin data frame volume. You can see that it's now a vector class, no? Vector siya kasi we just extracted yung volume class, no? Yung volume. So remember this is the row, okay? And remember this is your column. Okay, so all the rows, where's our object? All the rows and only the volume. So it will only create this one, these values. Okay, 10, 12, and 11, these values, because they fall under the volume volume object. Okay, then you can also name class financial DF, second row, third column, where's that? Second row, 1, 2, and then third column, 1, 2, 3. So it should give us 150.5. Okay, here. There you go. Or this one, all the first row, uh, just the first row and all the columns. Just the first row. So where's the first row? Here. And all the columns, so that's date, open, close, volume, profit. Okay, here. The empty space here indicates that include all the columns. Row 1, all the columns. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Row 1 and all the columns. All right. Then you have an example of list class. Okay, list, we said, are ordered collection of objects. Now the elements can be of different types. Lists have their own use. Okay, because in R, there are many objects that will be extracting, that will be downloading, which are lists. Okay, so it's very flexible and it's useful for storing results of complex analysis. Okay, so let's run this. We're creating this object, my list, and then we're using as.list or list. So what are the things here? We have this object called name, and it's a character. Ticker, also a character. Daily returns, you have this. It's a vector, numerical vector. Okay. And this one, model summary, you have a formula here. Okay. Tilde class is a formula. This is used for regression. And LM class, LM means linear model. So you can even store a model object or a formula object here in list. So it's powerful because it's very flexible. So let's run this. Okay, print my list. You notice class, okay, dollar name. So this is also equivalent to, if we didn't give it a name class, if we didn't give it the name here, because we gave it a name or ticker, it's equivalent to this one. Here class. It's equivalent to this one. Okay, this is the specific main list, and then this one is number 1 of this one. Okay, so this one class is double parenthesis 2. Okay, and then we have here, okay, this one daily returns class is, we have 3 objects here, 0.01, negative 0.05, and 0.02. So if I want to access this class, I can use what's our object? My list, right? My list. Okay. I can use, if I use the dollar class, dollar, okay, take a look. Dollar, you see dollar name, dollar ticker, dollar daily returns here. I can use now daily returns, dollar daily returns, okay, control enter, and it will give us the daily returns. Or as I said, alternatively, my list, and then you can get the brackets class. So this is bracket, double bracket, double bracket uh, 1, it's this one, okay? If I put here 1 class, let's see, control enter, then it will give us stock analysis. It will give us only 1 because there's only 1 here, okay? I could have done class, okay? So this is now for the the nth order, the nth object in the first list class. Okay, it will give us the same answer because you only have one object in stock analysis here. Okay, control enter, so still stock analysis. Okay, if I now go here class, here number 3. So number 3 is name, sticker, symbol, and daily returns. And if I get only the third one class, let's say if I want to get this, then I have to put here number 3. Okay, or number 2. Let's put it number 2. And it will give us this one class, negative 0.005. Okay, the first number here class, the double parenthesis gives us the main first list, second main list, third main list, and this the second parenthesis class will be the second layer. Okay, so this will give us negative 0.05, control enter. There you go, class. Okay, if I want it to be 1 and 2, let's see if this will work, class. 1, comma 2. Okay, error, class. Why? Why? Okay, because should be concatenated, class. Control enter. All right, there you go. 1 and 2, 0.01 and negative 0.05. Okay? All right, then last one here. This is the fourth one, class. Let's put here 4. And it's only one class, diba? So even if I remove this, because this is the only element here, control enter. Okay, take note, class. It gave us an answer, no? Intercept and coefficients, because this is a formula, class. So we're saying, class, that you have your dependent variable here, and then you have your independent variable here. And we're asking for the linear model. Okay, so this actually is a model, and it gave us the value. So this is just to show that the list is quite a very flexible object. Okay, all right, pause again for a while, and then quickly, please, class, if you can give your comments, any questions about that in the list object. Kaya medyo nabago lang dito, class, yung ano, no? Yung model value natin. Because this one, class, is a function. I will understand that this is your dependent variable, okay? And these are your independent variables. Okay, the values of your independent variable, 4, 5, 6. So you're regressing 1, 2, 3 on 4, 5, 6. All right, only one comment, please. Waiting for the others to give their comments. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much, class. Okay. So let's continue. That takes care of lists. All right. So this is what uh, sorry, I failed to mention that this is the index class, the double brackets. Okay. So we discussed this. No? All right. This is just a summary of lists. All right. Now let's go to the meatier aspects of our lesson. Okay. All right. When libraries class are programs in our context, of course, that were contributed by writers of R code from different fields. Okay, from physics, from chemistry, from algebra. So you have different packages. To date, there are, I think, more than 20,000 packages available in R. So it makes it really very powerful because at our disposal are many functions that we can use, provided already free. You can just go to the CRAN and check the packages. Okay. And we said that in order to install package, you have this one is, okay, if you recall, what's the shortcut for this? Control plus Shift. Okay, what's the shortcut class? Control Shift plus, okay, not, sorry, mali. Control Alt plus I. Okay, so that's a shortcut for creating a code chunk. For Mac, it's Command, right? Command Option plus I. All right. And we write our codes in code chunk. I think I mentioned this. I think I'm repeating now. Sorry. All right. Now, if we want to install packages class, I think we also studied this before. There are several ways to do this. Okay, one is to Control Alt I, use install that packages. Okay. And then let's run first. Say tidyverse. This is a family of packages containing several that goes with it. So if you try to install this class, okay, kindly first check your packages here in your packages window and type tidyverse. Okay, how many has it already? Please in the chat box, please yes or no. Yes, if you have it, no. Okay, yes, yes. Others, please. Okay. Okay, good. I hope everybody has it. If not, class, if you don't have it, then you have to run install that packages, or you can use here install and then type tidyverse and then install. It will give us the same command. Okay, same result. I'll cancel this. And what will be reflected here is install that packages. Now, if you check now your packages and check tidyverse, you may have it, which means but it's already installed. However, we have to make use of library or require class here. Library or require. So click this. If I click this, then you can see here that it's equivalent to library or require. And it comes with a family of packages, dplyr, readr, forecast, tibble, ggplot2, lubridate, per, etc. So it's a very powerful package that comes with it a family of packages. So if we check, for example, class, since I clicked this already, if I check dplyr, okay, dplyr. You notice that my dplyr is already checked also. Okay, because once you require tidyverse, once you library it, then it will automatically library also the other packages that come with it. Okay. All right, so let's go back here because this is our focus. Let's make sure that XTS and quant mode are already loaded. So please check this. Okay. I will now request you to please chat in the chat box if you were able to load quant mode. Kindly chat yes, please, Wes. Okay. If you weren't able to do it, class, if you were able to load quant mode, it means that you haven't installed it. So first install it in the packages. You click this and install quant mode, and then that's the time you can use library. All right, good. Everybody has it. Okay, let me just make sure that I have it. I might not have been able to load it yet. Okay, good. Thank you so much for your responses. Okay, let's now make use of quant mode. Now, the very beautiful thing about quant mode is that it's so powerful that you can download data from many sources like Yahoo Finance, like Fred, Wanda, etc. So the basic code, so this is from quant mode, okay? Quant mode, I'll just put here so that you know that these get symbols come from quant mode. And what's the syntax? You identify the ticker symbol of the stocks, of the stock that you want to download. You can download several, many at the same time. And then the default is Yahoo. Okay. Unless you mention another source, it will be coming from Yahoo. Here, class. And then identify the date from, that's January 1. Okay. Then until 2025, 12/31. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens when we run this. If we run this class, notice what happens. Okay. Notice what will happen below here. So let's just run this, control enter. Okay. Take note, class, that printed here is an object called Apple. And if you check this Apple class here, so it's an XTS object. Okay. Since we defined when will be the start from 2020 0101 here until 2025 12/31. And then if I click this class, let's check class. Clicking this apple here is equivalent to here, view AAPL. So what's inside this class? It's a database coming from Yahoo Finance. And it gives us the opening, high, highest, low, close, volume adjusted. It's the 6-number summaries class coming from Yahoo Finance. Okay. And the date is 2020-0102, which means that there was no trading on 0101. That's why it gave us only 0102 until December 12, December 30, 2025. Okay. So why didn't it give 12/31? Because there was no trading on December 31 of 2025. So here you're able to extract Apple prices class. So notice that it's an XTS object. Okay. So let's take a look at the structure. What's an XTS object? You have to know this class. Here. By the way, notice class that when we downloaded this, it automatically created a name for your object. The name is this one, the ticker symbol. So this is the ticker symbol. It means that it's the ID of Apple in Yahoo Finance. Okay. If you type APPLE, that will return an error term unless there's an object with a ticker symbol APPLE. No? Okay. So for Apple, the Microsoft Mac no? stock, the ticker symbol is AAPL, and you need to know that if you would want to extract from Yahoo Finance. the prices. Okay, so if you take a look at the structure class, structure, so you can see that it's a different type of object. It's an XTS object. XTS object stands for extensible time series. Okay, from 2020-01-02 until 2025-12-30, containing, you have two parts class, data, you have double. So you know double class, iba numerical yan, containing 15,007 rows and 6 columns. Okay, and all of them are double, which means they are numerical. And what are the columns? Open, high, low, close, up, volume, with one more column, which is the adjusted. And then you can see here that there are the index class. This object apple has an index. Okay, and it's a date object containing 15,007 observations, and it has a specific time zone, universal time convention. Ito yung old GMT class. Okay, Greenwich Meridian Time. Okay, source from Yahoo, updated. This is a POSIX city object class. Remember, POSIX city object can take on hours, minutes, seconds. Hindi siya yung simple na date lang. No? Although yung index class, no? Okay, tapos in-update siya, kaya ibig sabihin nun, may POSIX city attribute siya, hindi lang siya simple date. All right, so you now have it. In fact, we looked at it class here. So we can now do manipulation here for this data. All right, so going down class, we can get the head. Okay, let's run this both at the same time. Okay, this will give us the first 6 observations, 2020-01-02 until 2020-01-09, until the last 6 observation. Okay, so ang last 6 observation nila hanggang 12:30, 2025. Okay, so anyone being able to extract the value of this stack for the first time, kindly please chat. Of course, those of you who were under me before could have, most probably would have had experienced this. Okay, all right, so anyone, I'm sure I'll be getting some yeses here because not all of you were my students before. Just yes or no class if you have experienced extracting assets from Yahoo Finance using the quant mode package, using the get symbols function. Okay, I'm waiting for your response, class. No, okay, good. Okay, very good. So most of you. So I hope you're able to learn something new today, that we can get prices from Yahoo Finance using the get symbols function. All right, let's move on to another one. Okay, if you want to get just the adjusted prices, remember class, ito, no? These are your columns, and take note class, this is your index. Okay, take note that this is quite different from your other, this one class. Tingnan nyo itong, take a look at this data frame na to. Okay, so this data frame, the index of which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, it has column names, but the index is 1, 2, 3. Okay, here there's a date, but it's not in the index. So this is what separates an XTS object from an ordinary data frame. Okay, because an XTS object, let's take a look at Apple. This is an extensible time series, and you notice that the index is the date class, which makes this really very efficient in terms of time series analysis. Kasi class, it's quite difficult to manipulate or to work on time series data where the date is also a variable. It's a column here. But in this one, the date is the index. Okay, so it's separate. So this makes dealing with this time series data relatively easier compared to this one class, where the date is a column. Okay, so going down, class. Okay, so here you can extract, class. Here we're creating an object called Apple adjusted close. Then once again, the object is AAPL, right? And then dollar. Okay, you can see AAPL dollar. There you go. And we need the adjusted. Okay, then let's create this. We're creating this object class. No? How many columns will that have? Only one, the Apple adjusted. Then let's take a look at the head. First 6 observations. There you go, class. It only included the Apple adjustment. And these are the first 6 observations. Okay, was an object created? Yes, here, class. Apple adjusted here. I'll here, class. So still 1507 entries, class. Okay, and one column, the Apple adjusted. So we were able to extract that from the Apple object. Okay, once again, class, I'll quick pause, class, please. Kindly chat if you're able to follow. Any questions, please? So the very powerful get symbols function from quant mode. Okay, waiting for your response, please, class. Is it clear? Your chat will be appreciated. Yes? Okay, good. Thank you. Jen, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, good, good. Thank you so much, class, for your for your feedback, because I was afraid that I might be going too fast. I'll post this, class, so kindly please take some time to review it. All right, here, get symbols again, class. Again, this is from quant mode. And here we're getting 2 prices, Microsoft and Google. So that can be done also, class. Okay, source. We just split it this way. All right, this is from 2023 0101 up to 2025 1231. Okay, we're downloading now from Yahoo Finance. You can, of course, class, you can comment this out. The default is it will get it from Yahoo unless you specify the the source like Fred. Okay, so I commented out source. Let's see if it will really allow us to extract data from Yahoo Finance. Before you could get also from Google Finance, but they stopped. Okay, they stopped allowing people to access data from them. Okay, and then here head, class. Let's just get the first 3 observations to limit. Notice, class, that when we get symbols and then Microsoft Google, R will automatically download data and give it the name MSFT and Google. Okay, so let's see this. Let's run this. Okay, so when we run this, is it running? Yeah, there. You can now see that it will create here, class, this MSFT and Google, and it will be found in your environment here, class, in your data. You have a while ago Apple, you have Google also, and then Microsoft. And these, they're all XTS objects also, class. All XTS objects. Okay? And these are the first 3 observations, 2023 0103 until 05 for open, high, low, close, volume adjusted for Microsoft and also for Google. Okay, so you can see that it's quant mode really is a very powerful package that we can use in order to extract data from Yahoo Finance. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. So this one, class, is another source. Okay. So you can see here Fred. Okay. I want you to check, class, what Fred is. Okay. Could you kindly let's do it together, class, here. Type Fred. Google class. Ba't hindi nag-default sa akin? Anyway, i-fix ko na lang. Fred. Okay, here class. Federal Reserve Economic Data. That's Fred class. St. Louis Fed. Okay, click here. And then it contains class several hundreds of thousands of data. Okay, GDP, CPI, money supply, real GDP, etc. So a lot, and you can download data from this one class. Okay, your trusted source for economic data since 1991, but the data that it provides class is even beyond 1991 class. Okay, all right, you can just find out what is spread class, etc. Okay, online database consisting of hundreds of thousands of economic data, time series from scores of national, international, etc. So a lot of things uh, began in early 1990s, but the data that they provide go back even before 1990s. So let's once again go to our R, okay, and see, get symbols again, but this time we're getting it from Fred GDP class. So the default is US data. From 1990 0101 until 2024 0630. Okay. Now let's see what will be given to us. Okay. Now let me introduce this one class. Okay. I'm going to put here auto.assign. Here, auto.assign is equal to false class. What does that mean, class? It means that I don't want the object to be named as GDP. So let's just call it gross them. For example, class, gross. Okay, wait. Let's just name it gross dom. Just inventing alt minus. Gross domestic product class. Gross dom. Okay, then I have to change this into gross dom. Okay, and this one gross dom. Let's just make it 2. The first 2 observations. 2. Okay. All right. So take note, class, here. I don't want R to automatically give it the name GDP. So if you want to change the name of the object, if you don't want the ticker symbol to be the name of the object, then you give it a name on your own. Okay, but you have to put here auto.assign is equal to false. Because the default is auto.assign is equal to true. And R will automatically give it a name, okay, the name of the ticker symbol. So if you don't put it here, if you don't put this one class, and you still give it this name, then it will just create this object, which is a character, but the name of the object that it will extract is still GDP. Okay, so let me illustrate that. Click this one class. It's almost time. Let me just end in this one. So take note of this class. Okay, what happened? Okay, but may ganun pa rin siya. Okay, let's see class. No? Notice here, head, gross dome. Okay, so let's see what was the object that was created. Here class, gross dome, no? Hindi GDP. So I want to change to give it a different name. So I used auto.assign is equal to false. Okay, and of course the column name is still GDP. So it extracted class, no? 1990. So let's take a look at class at this gross dome. Print natin. Okay, tingnan nyo class, no? So ang default niya, nag-quarterly siya, 1990. Okay, January and then April, gross domestic product. Can it give us, class, let's say, can it give us before this, let's say, kaya ba 1980? Kung available na yung data, class, no? If it was available at this time, then, okay, let's see, class. Just run this. Control Enter. Okay, let's see gross dome. There you go, class. I think the latest is, the earliest is 1960. No? So 1960, pwede pa niyang ibigay for some data. All right? All right, this one, class. This last one. So, next time, titingnan na lang natin to, no? Yung may remaining pa tayo na konti na lang, no? But let's just finish up to this one, class. And thank you for your patience. Take a look at this, class. No? Here, GLD. These are gold prices. So from Yahoo, so this can be class commented out, no? From to, and then auto dot assign is equal to false. That means we're going to give it a name. Okay, this one GLD data. Control enter. Okay, that's the same thing, class. GLD data here. Same thing. Okay, we were able to extract gold prices. Gave it a name. If I remove this class, or if I use auto dot assign is equal to true, which is the default. Okay, let's see what happens here, class. Okay, so here, what will happen, class? I didn't put auto dot assign is equal to false. Let's see. Let's run this, class. Let's put one here, one, so that we distinguish it from the gold data one a while ago. Okay. I create this object gold data one for gold, class, but I didn't put auto dot assign is equal to false. Control enter. Now what happened, class? You can see here now that oops, my gold object dito, class, no? Gold object GLD, the ticker symbol. You know why? Because nag-default CR auto.assign is equal to true. So when you downloaded gold, it automatically created this object GLD. That's why we have GLD here. Okay, what happens to this one, class? GLDT1. What happened to GLDT1 is that, tingnan sa ilalim, class, GLDT1 meron, no? Pero it's just a character lang siya. GLD lang, no? So it only represented the name GLD. Okay? All right, let me end here, class. And then kindly please just, no, this is just a review. And next meeting, we'll take a look at missing values. Okay, because we need to look into that. Okay? All right. So let me stop recording now.